breaking out above $9,000 price levels again today, and altcoin markets on a tear, with many putting in double-digit gains overnight. Cryptocurrency traders seem to be celebrating the return of the bullish market. However, investors remain jittery over concerns of the growing global crisis over in traditional markets as trading opened this morning with a sharp sell-off in traditionals. The gains from yesterday's rallies in equities took a cut as soon as the bell sounded on Wall Street this morning, and yesterday's renewed sense of investor confidence seems to have fizzled, with the Dow, SPY, and NASDAQ all down nearly 3% today, and yields on 10-year T-notes falling and holding below 1%. This suggests that investors are still seriously concerned about global growth and central banks' response to them. Amidst all these troubles, though, Bitcoin appears to be finally kicking down the door, if at least not knocking on the door, and getting ready, many are saying, to take off for another run above 10K just in time for the critical halving event. Meanwhile, South Korea has officially legalized cryptocurrency trading and business, a huge step forward for the industry. We're going to be covering euphoric, bullish price predictions for Bitcoin today and its halving run. And we ask the question, are institutional investors accumulating Ethereum at these prices? Find out in today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin.
Hello everyone, my name is Silvio Micali. I'm the founder of Algorand, and I'm proud and happy to be here with this edition of Breaking Bitcoin.
Welcome back to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live in the underground bunker at the Kraken Cryptocurrency Studio. Today is Thursday, March 5th, 2020. Glorious year of our Lord. I hope everybody watching today on YouTube, Twitch, D-Live, we're not broadcasting to. We are having issues with D-Live today. We were unable to get the stream to connect. We'll have it figured out by tomorrow. But YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, and on Roku with the Investor News Channel app is doing fantastic. Make sure to support the show by kindly, not smashing, but gently nudging that like button, subscribe with bell notifications, turn all notifications on because, we're cryptocurrency and YouTube doesn't like crypto sometimes. But you can also follow us on our socials to stay up to tune. We're quite active on Twitter and Instagram. Whatever you do, make sure to join the Discord. Links in the description. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic today. We've got a lot to talk about. The trades are doing good. Personally, I had a fantastic mentoring session this morning. A lot of good things going on this morning as we continue to move more and more things forward with the group. OPEC meetings today. We can see Bentley crude responding to that as oil continues to dive. Again, traditional markets, major equity indices, as well as ETFs are taking a plunge as well, down about 3%. Not a full retrace. Again, we are coming off the heels of the biggest market recovery, $1.1 trillion on the S&P 500 in just one day. That's the largest economic recovery of the last 10 years. And overall, again, very exciting, very volatile times for traders. This is the best time to be alive and the best time to be trading, in my opinion. The volatility is beautiful. The movements are beautiful. Again, racking up the movements on March, already up 4% on total equity of my entire account. Just already, we're only 5 days in. March is looking to be another fantastic month as we continue to march forward and push these gains. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Some interesting signals coming in from the multiple systems that we have, mainly the Breaking Bitcoin system. We'll talk about another system right now, which will be quite nice for somebody watching. And then I also want to talk about Ethereum. We're going to ask the question, are institutional investors actually accumulating? Is there Ethereum accumulation going on, or is this distribution? We really want to look critically at the charts, look critically at the fundamentals, and see what determination we can come to. Secondly, we want to take a look at traditional markets and see what the best step is moving forward. Third, we also want to cover the cryptocurrency markets. We want to look at the big movers of the day and identify opportunities, see if we can find some live trades here during the show. Lastly, we also want to be looking at, the announcement from South Korea of them legalizing cryptocurrency. What does this mean? What is the actual legislation there? What does this mean for major exchanges like BitHum, for example? And what will that mean for the industry moving forward and for those who are participating in the ecosystem? And also, you guys know what kind of season it is. We're getting the big bull price predictions from Willy Woo, from Max Kaiser, from all the big talking heads, right? Again, a lot of respect for Willy Woo, but we're going to cover some of those. We're going to look at these numbers. We're going to see if they make sense. We're going to look at parabolas and parabolic growths and power law corridors. We're going to look at all that stuff and see what makes the most sense in today's episode. If you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them in the live chat. The moderators will bring my attention to them when we do the Q&A section. So you guys know how it works. A market analysis, news, and live Q&A. So hopefully you guys are ready. Let's get right into this. Also, I want to thank all the members, the Premium Advanced, Professional, and Elite members who came out to yesterday's community mentoring session. It was, again, the best one we've had, which means the equity curve for the quality of the community mentoring sessions is just on the rise. Might I say parabolic. So I really appreciate everybody helping out. Really want to give a strong shout out to Richard, for putting together a very good flow and work through for that and working with me on that. Highly appreciated, my good friend. Very inspired by that. So with that being said, let's get right into the charts because we've got a lot to talk about today. All right, so here we are in the live scene. And of course, as I said, we are having issues with DLive today. So if you've got friends, family, even people you don't like that usually tune into us on DLive, reach out to them, tweet out, let them know we are here, of course, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, on our Facebook page. All the links are in the description. And of course, you can watch us on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. So Bitcoin, sorry, we got a lot going on today. Bitcoin currently trading at around 91.23. So of course, I would be remiss, and we'll get into this in the in the Bitcoin analysis. But yes, we did call the bottom last week. We talked about the bottom feeder signal, that algorithmic strategy that me and my team and I have developed. That take profit was hit just this morning, moving into Bitcoin. So we held that position, averaged in Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We bought down into Bitcoin, getting a good average entry. Take profit has been hit. I do not have any leveraged at-risk positions on Bitcoin, and I am simply spot long at this point in time. But I just want to thank all the members of the group who followed with us, who showed their faith in our ability to build good systems and build good algorithms, as well as manage risk. And I'm very happy for anybody watching that's not in the group that was able to take that signal. Of course, in the group, we were updating that every day on candle close, giving you guys the new metrics on this. But very happy to see that. That is the first live trade of bottom feeders since we developed the algorithm. So a very good path, even though we know that it operates at an 80 to 87% success rate, at a percent profitability rate with well-managed risk. It's also very good just to see the results and have you guys see the results as well to what consistent, patient system building will return consistently time after time. All right, so Ethereum, again, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum currently trading at 232.99. We've got XRP trading at 24.27, so we are above 24 cents. We talked about that yesterday. EOS trading at 383. We've got Litecoin as well, up at 63.14. We've got Binance Coin up above $20, stretching powerfully today, up at 21.19, and Mink signaling along. We are below the baseline, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Matic, you guys know that I'm long on Matic. I've been long on Matic for about 3 days now, continuing to return up at 302. And OGN as well, long on OGN, currently sitting about 3649. Giving a brief overview of traditional markets right here. We've got the SPY trading down at 301.81, 71, and continuing to move. We've got the QQQ, we've got the, at 211.50. We've got the iShares Trust over here, the IYY, we've got that down at 149.69. We've got the healthcare sector, we talked about this. This is the XLV ETF down at $97. Gold spot making a nice move for the stars today at 1667. Silver spot up as well, up above $17. Bentley crude reacting to the OPEC meeting this morning and plunging to the downside as our Drixion shares, our DRIP, you guys have known about this. This is an ETF I've been trading lately, up surging at 219.13. So great. Still have my DRIP position open to the upside. And by the way, that is also the next phase that we look to begin. Hello there, Mike. That's the next markets that we're going to begin offering support for, is going to be ETFs. Well, I'll be honest, it's kind of a toss up between CFDs for precious metals and then ETFs. So I have to kind of choose between Europeans who are in the group and Americans who are in the group, because whatever we support first, it's going to be a month or two as we get the systems in place to support the other, right? So we can do both, right? We can trade both CFDs. Obviously, as an American, I can't trade CFDs, but of course, we do have a good amount of those who can trade CFDs in the group and in the community at large. So again, I guess it kind of comes down to, I should probably just take a poll, right? What do you guys want to see more? Do you guys want to see more CFDs, or would you guys prefer to see more ETFs, right? Americans, we can trade ETFs, can't trade CFDs. Anybody that's not in the US can trade CFDs. Typically, is going to have struggle, or not that they can't access ETFs, but it's just, why would they? They can trade CFDs, right? So anyways, So let's get into Bitcoin here, of course, on the daily. Get this blown up and zoomed out, guys. Let's get into this. Again, let me know how you're doing in the live chat. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. I do have the live chat pulled up over here so I can see. Droid Skull, thank you so much for the subscription over there on YouTube, my friend. And BZN, thank you for the follow on Twitch. As I said, Bitcoin putting in a nice bullish engulfing candle, breaking above the local shelf of resistance that we had talked about. We are not yet out of the water yet. We're not above 9,200. We talked about these levels. We'll go down and we'll break all this down. Wadatar explosion has a falling explosion level. We still have negative volume delta divergence, even with this movement to the upside on the daily time frame. And we still do have we are still below the explosion level. So a couple more days, and we could probably get above the explosion level. Again, we just need to wait for these indicators to update. Minx still moving to the upside. Of course, we did get the take profit short signal. I really need to fix that. Hold on just a second. Let me try moving that down just a little bit. But ¿por qué no los dos? Well, yo soy dos. Ich mach zwei. Aber the reason why is whichever I introduce first. It's not that I can't cover them on the show. This is really for the group, right? What signals we provide, because it takes time to put these systems in place and get the team and staff on hand to monitor the markets and provide a good signaling service, right? So if we do ETFs, I have to get the manpower to do the ETFs, which I have in place. I have the manpower in place right now to do Forex and cryptocurrency, and the staff is now trained and available in time to do another market. So we can either do ETFs or CFDs, and then over a month or two, I can bring more manpower on and also cover the other. So it's both will be supported, right? Both will be supported. It's just what do you guys want to see first, right? Yeah, we can do large, stocks will be later. Individual stocks are going to be later. I prefer trading ETFs. And if I could, I'd trade CFDs over individual stocks. It just depends, right? It just depends, right? That's my personal preference. I find that they're easier. With CFDs, obviously you can do the CFDs on indices, which with ETFs, you can just trade the ETF. You can trade the fund, right? And there's leveraged and inverse and a lot of options, right? So anyways, sorry, where were we? So Minx, still below the zero line, so not giving a zero line long. Of course, we are still largely in bearish territory, guys. Just looking at the chart, we are below levels of support. We have not established and really flipped anything significantly. Again, we did call the bottom with bottom feeder, so let's just cover that, get that out of the way, and then we'll go over this. So bottom feeder, of course, signaling the bottom on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday's candle, averaging down into that buy system. You guys can see the signal is now gone. Once it's hit, it disappears, but you can see that take profit level was right there. You guys can see the descending stop loss as we averaged into the position. You guys can see the take profit as we averaged into the position, and that position is now closed. So again, that was a fairly good sized position for me, ended up being about 4% risk. So that's a fairly large trade for me. So I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. That's a very good trade. And we'll just wait and now see what happens on the daily, the 12, the 4. We'll look at our signaling systems and look, and we'll do that today on the show. So with that out of the way, again, a successful bottom feeder trade, the first live bottom feeder trade that we called not only for the group, but for you guys as well. So I hope that you guys were able to take advantage of that. Bottom feeder was designed not only to be my best take profit indicator on shorts, but also to let me know when there is a very particular signal for a long trade. I want to be very clear about this because I don't want to lead anybody watching that it's not in the group and has access to our educational material astray, right? Bottom feeder is not designed to say, this is the bottom, buy and hold. It does not do that. If you think that it does that, you are wrong and you do not understand how systems are built. What it does is it generates very specific, particular signals, letting you know that there is an opportunity here to go long to a certain price. There's no guarantees above that, right? There are times where I'll see bottom feeder call the bottom and price just keeps marching up. And then other times I see bottom feeder call a bottom, take profit gets hit, and then we just keep dumping. So you want to be very careful. I want to be very clear that anybody watching right now, make sure that I am not saying the bottom on Bitcoin is in, nor is bottom feeder, nor are any of my systems. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what you should be interpreting. We've had a successful trade, movement to the upside, and now we're looking for other setups. That bottom feeder's done. We're moving on. All right, so let's bring back up the breaking Bitcoin system here. So let's take a look here. So we are above the continuation filter, which does technically put us in a no trade zone for trending, and does tell you that if you are a reversal trader, that you are in the profit zone now, right? Because typically reversals are going to be done either here, breaking back above the continuation filter, right? That's a take profit signal for us for shorts, okay? And of course, we had 2 days of drawdown. We had that nice daily doji yesterday, and now a nice bullish emergence, but we're still in bearish territory, guys. Let's be very clear about that. We do need to get above now 94.68. Do you guys remember, those who are new to the breaking Bitcoin system, when we first started descending? And what did the breaking Bitcoin system say? Hey guys, we got to get it back above 10,500 to be looking for longs. And I got all these messages that said, hey man, that's crazy. That's waiting way too long. You know, the price will be distended, which first off, I don't really understand, because if you want to call the bottom at 8,500, let's say, okay, and then I'm saying, well, I have to wait until price gets back above 10,500 to safely take a long. If you think that price is just going to go back up to 10,500 and then reject, you are basically saying that I'm right. You are basically saying that price is only going to go back up to 10,500, and that's a reversal trade. Boom, reversal, continuation to the downside. That's essentially what you're prognosticating. That's what you're predicting. You're like, well, above 10,500, that's too risky. So you're actually not really that bullish if you don't think that above 10,500, we continue to move higher, right? So think about that. But however, as we see, the baseline, the Hall moving average, has moved down with price. And where is it sitting now? Now that we've given the market time to breathe, where is it telling us that we can be looking for longs? 9,400. We're not that far away. So what we need to see here is price hold this movement to the upside, continue marching, consolidate at a higher level, flip the baseline back into support. We need to get Wadatar explosion volume, confirming the long trade. Minx back, I've got Parallax on here. Parallax, I'm going to start focusing on more. I got that inspiration from this morning's mentoring session. And honestly, I feel for the people in the group and for everybody that has access to the indicators, Parallax is highly underutilized. It is one of the best indicators that I've ever made. It is designed to be a confirmer, but it's a fantastic initiator as well. And it just tells you this: if Parallax is red, you don't go long. If Parallax is green, you don't go short. Knowing in what direction to trade is invaluable, because most people just don't know, right? They'll have a losing long and then they'll be like, oh, well, maybe I should look for a short. Why? No, if you're bullish, you look for another long. You just had a bad long. Moving on. So anyways, Parallax still bearish. Now we did, remember guys, oversold is more important than overbought. Overbought doesn't mean a darn thing in Bitcoin because it's elevator up, stair steps down. All right, oversold though is important, right? Bitcoin being oversold is on the daily, on higher time frames, is typically a good signal that price is going to, at least for the moment, move on up to the upside. Mr. Ether, call in the bottom here. Hashtag not financial advice. I heard bottom feeder is called the Liam Neeson indicator because it has a particular set of skills. All right, man. Let's do, what's the over under on that, Andrew? Put me in for 12 lots. All right, now, so we need to close the daily above 94.67 to reestablish the bullish trend. To flip the breaking Bitcoin indicator long, we actually need to close above 97.18. So that's what I will be doing. That's what I'll be waiting on. Okay, but we are above the continuation filter, so I am actively looking for shorts. I have to be, because we're because we're below the baseline. So there are a couple signals here that I'm watching for. Number one, if we close back below the continuation filter, which is currently sitting at 86.21, I'll be looking for shorts. If Minx crosses back below the noise line, and let's bring Minx up here real quick. Just sworn that, well, anyways, we got Minx right here. The one in the middle, if Minx crosses, this is sensitive Minx. This is the typical Minx. If Minx crosses back below the noise line, I'll be looking to go short. That's a continuation short. And of course, we can see that if we look back at the breaking Bitcoin system at another one of my indicators, if we look at Parallax or any other confirmer, it's still in the negative, telling us that yes, price is still in bearish mode. So we should be looking for shorts. So a couple signals here, momentum signal to the downside, potential reversal baseline bounce. It depends on what it looks like when we get up there. And closing back below the continuation filter will be my signals to go short on Bitcoin. Alternatively, closing back above the baseline and flipping the indicators long, I'll be going long. Right now, I am just spot long on Bitcoin, and I'll be waiting for the signal to hedge back up or to be taking at-risk shorts. So overall, it's been a very profitable movement for me and the group. Just happy to have been able to catch that. Now, I'm also, again, not in a lot of holding my altcoin positions overall my portfolio, but not only in one active at-risk trade. That's OGN at the moment. I see that the other senior analysts in the group are really staying busy, really nailing a lot of these altcoin movements. I want to give a big shout out to all of them. You know, Alex, Da Vinci, Jason, doing a fantastic job in the markets there. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'll catch it. I'll get that aligned just the way that I want it. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's hop back out. That's Bitcoin very simply on the daily. It is Thursday, so we'll talk about the weekly and the monthly tomorrow. We always do that typically on Mondays and Fridays, right? So let's hop down to the 12-hour. Even on the 12-hour here, we can see that Parallax hasn't flipped bullish yet. We are above the 12-hour baseline. We do have Wada explosion confirmation. If we flip over to... So what this really just needs to look like is, sorry. We'll set Minx to be tied to the baseline daily. All right, we are getting a long signal from Minx right here, but we don't have a rising explosion level from Wada explosion. So we do not want to take that 12-hour signal, right? We don't want to take that 12-hour signal. This would have signaled at 6 o'clock this morning if you're Central Time. Otherwise, this would have signaled at 12 UTC. Not a signal that you want to take. We don't have that rising explosion level. That's critical. And again, even Parallax, our big confirmer, is still bearish. So overall, good movement from Bitcoin if you were already long, not something on the 12 that you want to be going long on. Moving down to the 4-hour time frame, we've had some actually really good trades over here since we broke above the 4-hour Hall Moving Average 60 on the 28th. So let's take a gander right here. Looking at Minx, we get our first long signal here. And we do have Wada confirmation. We don't get explosion level until here, giving us a very nice trade right here, as we can see. Let's actually take this off and put our baseline on so you guys can see this a little bit more clearly. The baseline indicator the premium members have access to. Here we go. This makes it a little clearer here. Right. So we get our initial long signal here from Minx. Wada confirmation on this bar, giving us a very nice trade. TP here, another TP here. Let's see. Let's move down. Get another long signal here, and that is a loser. And then we get our second long signal here. So again, 3 winners, 1 loser, overall quite good. Or excuse me, 2 winners, 1 loser here on the 4-hour time frame with a potential, let's take a gander here. Yep, sorry, that's all it is. And on the 4-hour, we're actually going to be getting close to getting our take profit long signal right here. As we can see, Minx curling down into the curling down in overbought territory below the noise line. Again, overbought doesn't matter when we're trading cryptocurrency. Oversold does. Overbought doesn't really matter. These things trend to the upside very quickly, but you'll notice that they pop when they're oversold. Just back test it. Jas, thank you so much for the subscription over there on YouTube, my friend. Thank you so much, Crypto Pepe Sylvia. But it is a good signal to take some profit, move your stop loss to break even, especially because that 4-hour signal did come in right here. So again, nice movement, 4-hour catching this very well. Again, on the daily, we're still overall in bearish territory. So you want to be either, as I said, I'm spot long, but I have my continuation filter for that. For most strategies, you're still going to be hedged, and you're still going to be hedged from around 9,900, still putting you far in the green. Remember, your hedge isn't there to make you money. It's there to protect you from losing money, okay? But you can be more aggressive. As I said, once we closed above my continuation filter, I exited my position. And you don't have to take the time to try to decipher what my continuation filter is. What you can do, it's pretty simple. Mine isn't this, but it's similar. Get a more sensitive moving average, right? And back test it and see, like, maybe it's the 8 EMA, maybe it's the 8 SMA, simple moving average. Maybe it's the you know, something that's a little bit more sensitive, right? When price closes above that line after you're deep in the profit, you can exit your position. Is potentially one way to go about doing it. One of the most popular ways to do it. You guys can backtest that. It's pretty good. All right, so let's zoom out on here. We've gone down Bitcoin today. Let's look at Ethereum today. Ethereum on the daily time frame, as I said, trading at 232.24. Looking at the breaking Bitcoin indicator, kind of similar thing. We have Wadatar explosion marching to the downside. We have Minx in static, no trade zone, above the continuation filter, but below the baseline. Again, an indication that we generally should not be going long here. We still have negative volume delta from Wadatar explosion, and so we don't have all the bullish signs that we want to see on the daily time frame. Now, on the daily here, price actually needs to get on Ethereum up above 266.22. So not as responsive here from the baseline, but that's a good thing because that is telling us to be cautious. So overall, what are the setups to be looking for here? I think shorting from these levels is not what I would do. We don't have any signal to short right now, but I would be looking for an opportunity to short. So I would be looking for overbought territory here. I would be looking for Minx cross unders. I would be looking for closes below the continuation level. So 219.26, I'd be looking to short below 219.26 or long above 266. Okay, so that's what I would be looking for here on Ethereum. On the daily time frame. Also, of course, if we get of course, Parallax is still quite bearish. Parallax not even reaching oversold levels. So much more bullish on the Bitcoin chart than on the Ethereum chart right here. Looking at the 12-hour system, we just flipped the 12-hour baseline to the upside here. Okay. We did flip the breaking Bitcoin initiator long, but there is no volume signal here. Look, we still have a falling explosion level, and look how tepid and weak these 12-hour volume bars are from Wadatar explosion. There is no 12-hour signal here to go long. If we look, we are getting the 12-hour Minx. Let's see here. Let's set this. We want to do current time frame and set this to 60. Call and say okay. All right, there is no, Minx is giving us the long signal, but we do not have the WADA confirmation. So that is not a trade. If we look at Parallax, we're also not getting that long signal as well. So being above the baseline does not mean we just go long. Here on the 12-hour time frame, this is not a trade. On the 4-hour, we've had a little bit of activity. Let's look closely here. Let's see here. I need to set this to area. Sorry, guys. There we go. Much better. Anyway, so here on the 4-hour for Ethereum, let's take a gander. We don't, nope, none of this, none of this, none of this, none of this, none of this. Here's our first long signal on Ethereum. Parallax doesn't actually confirm until here. That's actually a losing trade. But Minx, Wadatar explosion, and the baseline give us a very nice trade here on the 4-hour. Let's look at our next. Here's our next Minx long right here and a profitable trade there. So actually, Minx doing very, very well for us here on the 4-hour time frame. 2 winning trades since we closed above the 4-hour baseline again on the 28th, compared to 2 winners and 1 loser from Bitcoin. So overall, some good opportunities here on the 4-hour as well for those of you who are swing trading a little bit more actively. Again, on the daily, nothing to do here. Let's move on to the next chart. XRP having a pretty nice move in here, but overall, again, this kind of looks very similar to Ethereum. Weak, no confirmation of anything yet. Again, let's take a look at WADA, negative delta on the volume. This is not the safest time to be going long. There is, so I will be honest, right? We see consolidation here, and we are kind of charging up for a potential breakout, right? But you do want to wait for that breakout, and more ideally, just market buying the breakout. I don't feel, well, this is a contested issue. I don't feel is always the best strategy. Crypto can move quite quickly, but always the safest strategy is seeing the breakout, waiting for it to pull back to the level of breakout and buying the retest. That's always the safest strategy. You're going to have better opportunities to manage your risk. Otherwise, you're going to be buying the breakout. And especially if this is a coin that can be shorted, you can run into trouble with that quickly. So anyways, no long signal here on the daily time frame for XRP, even with the breaking Bitcoin system, but we are back above the continuation filter. So we are getting the signal now to exit short trades. Of course, Minx gave you that signal back over here pretty much at the market lows on the 29th. Told you to exit your XRP USD daily shorts. So good work in there. Good work there from Minx calling the bottom. And now getting some follow through on this bullish day. Looking at the 12-hour time frame, again, long signal at 6 a.m. this morning from Minx, but no volume confirmation from WADA. Moving down to the 4-hour time frame on XRP, been a little bit more choppy. Let's see what we got. Let's see here. Let's get. Let's just throw the baseline indicator on here. There we go. Nope, nothing here. Let's see here. So, if you're using a line cross, we do have our first signal here. That's a losing trade on XRP USD. And we have another one here. So we have a successful trade. So again, 4-hour time frame on XRP, one winner, one loser since the 28th. 2 winners on Ethereum, 2 winners, 1 loser on Bitcoin. And on the daily, much higher strike rate actually. Now let's go to EOS USD. Okay. EOS USD on the daily, very similar. If we actually look at the breaking Bitcoin system instead of the standard baseline, we are above the continuation filter. We closed above the continuation filter back on the 2nd, letting us know to exit shorts. Again, Minx giving us that signal on the 29th, calling the bottom fairly well there, telling us again not to take longs. We don't trade reversals, but we do exit out of our at-risk short positions, okay? So, really nothing to do here as far as EOS is concerned. We do have that baseline coming in at $4.11, 4.114 to be exact. So I won't be looking for long signals until we get back above that level, at least for me, because I have the breaking Bitcoin system. For me, it won't be until $4.31. So 4.318, $4.31. Let's say $4.32. We also have Minx stretching up toward the 0 line. It is in static, no trade zone here on the daily. Let's go down to the 12-hour, see what we would have gotten on the 12-hour. Same thing. Again, overall choppy movement here on the 12-hour, above the 12-hour baseline. A couple of long signals from Minx, but as we can see, no WADA volume confirmation, so we've been kept out of EOS on the 12-hour. On the 4-hour time frame, let's take a gander here. Let's take breaking Bitcoin off, throw the baseline on. This is what most of you guys are going to be having access to. No volume confirmation. We finally do get some volume confirmation there. And that's a winning trade. You guys can see here. Here's our stop loss. On this candle right here, stop loss is right here. We do have a nice wick down that scares probably a lot of people. We don't close below the baseline, hold it, and we do rally and hit that target. You have the take profit long signal right there. See no WADA confirmation on that signal. And we actually just got a 4-hour signal on the previous 4-hour close with Minx above the noise line. Let's actually see. We have 1 bar, 2. So this is a 2-bar rule trade. So this would have been at 2/3 risk. You would have been reducing position size by 1/3 because of the length from confirmation to initiation here. So we cover all that anyways. So EOS has been in the spiral of death. But anyways, nice 4-hour signal. Again, system doing pretty well here on the 4-hour time frame with Parallax 2 as well. And so this is just, again, the default out of the box strategy that most people are going to be using. We've got so many videos on this. Again, we're not going to cover Litecoin in depth. As I said, trading at 62.83. So we'll just run through the lightning round now with the breaking Bitcoin indicator, talk about the important levels. 62.83, Litecoin in a no trade zone. We need to close the daily below $58.60 to be signaling for at-risk shorts again. So as I said, no trade zone, so flat on Litecoin. Minx cross-unders would also be signaling for longs at this point in time, or whatever your initiator is. We need to close back above $70.99, so let's say $71, to be looking for trending longs, reclaiming the bullish trend. Now, Binance Bucks, Binance Coin, BNB, actually a pretty interesting move today, generating the daily long signal from Minx itself. But of course, we are below the baseline. So once we turn on current time frame baseline filter of signals, look at that, it's just going to disappear because that's not a signal you take. Not on the daily. On the correct time frame, you got to be above the baseline. But on the daily, we're not above the baseline. So we are above the continuation filter, which meant if you had shorts on BNB, this is the signal to exit them. Of course, Minx giving you an earlier exit back here on the 29th, calling the bottom fairly well. We need to close above $22, and let's call it 46 cents. It's 22.4568 as price oscillates here a little bit. That's where we need to get back above the daily baseline to be looking for trending longs. No volume delta divergence to the positive side. Wadatar explosion is very clear here. There's no trade on the daily. On the 12-hour, however, let's take a look. Yep, we can see Wadatar explosion, no rising explosion level, so there's been no trade here on the 12-hour. On the 4-hour time frame, however, a little bit more aggressive. Let's actually get rid of breaking Bitcoin now, and let's just pull up our standard baseline indicator. Take a gander. All right, so we have one losing trade on BNB here. All right, we have our first winning trade right here. One win, one loss. And right here, as you guys can see, we never close below the baseline. We do enter here, have a little bit of a dip, but of course never hit our stop loss. I want to make sure I'm very clear on where that SL is, right here at this level. And rallying and finally hitting TP1 right there. And you'd still be in that position. Of course, you have the continuation long signal from Minx right here as well. So overall, what is that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3 winners, one loser, one winner, one winner, one winner again. So 3 wins, 1 loss, 4-hour chart, same time, 28-hour, since the 28th of February, when we closed back again above the 4 hours. So good activity here on the 4-hour time frame. Hope you guys have been having good trades. I didn't think I was going to go into that much nuance on most of these coins. Most of these I won't. Matic is my open at-risk position in the alt market right now. Entered this trade. This is my 3rd day of holding Matic USDT long. There's really nothing to do here. I don't have an exit signal from the breaking Bitcoin system. Current invalidation is below 253. This is Matic Bitcoin. I need to pull up Matic USDT. Must have been looking at this last night. Sorry. This is Matic USDT. All right, yeah, so that's about what I thought. So stretching up for about 3 cents is really what I'm looking at for here. This is the 3rd day of holding Matic to the long side. Again, you guys can see just as I talked about, what do we have here? Closing above the baseline, breaking Bitcoin initiator, long signal for Minx, Wadatar explosion confirmation, all the stuff we say every single day and have been saying every single day for over a year now. But again, profitable trade, hitting take profit 1, holding the rest of my position long right now. We will actually be looking at, let's take a look here. Let's get Quadriga on here. By the way, premium members, I will be updating the new Quadriga this weekend and adding the bottom feeder strategy and study to TradingView, so you guys will have access to that. Let's take a look here. Yep, we might be putting on a trailing stop today if we can close above 2.7 cents. Not 2783 is really where I'd like to get up to put that trailing stop loss on for Matic to close out the other half of my position. Crypto Caveman, big shout out to you, man. Hopefully you're holding it down up there in Canada, and the t-shirt is looking fancy on you, brother. I know that it is. Go7, thank you so much for my brother. All right. So really nothing here to update on Matic. OGN, I took this, I actually took OGN long yesterday. Interesting, lower risk on OGN because there's not a lot of historical data here, especially on the daily. But again, verified long signal here. Nice pullback for the day. So we do have this doji on the daily. So really nothing to do here. Just got to watch and see how the market continues to move over the next few days on OGN. All right, going back to traditional markets here, let's talk about the SPY. Still in bearish territory. We talked about this, guys. When we closed back above, we talked about exiting shorts for SPY, and we're going to be still, well, you know, of course, when we're talking about going short on SPY, I don't actually recommend that you go out and margin trade. You can, but what I recommend that you do, you can do what I do, which is trade SH or SDS, right? So SH is going to be pro shares. It's the inverse ETF, no leverage. SHS is going to be the 2X. Inverse ETF is going to be the same thing, but just at 2x leverage. And then there's actually SPXU, which is 3x leverage. So a lot of opportunities for you guys to short traditional markets without margin trading, without actually short selling any stocks. You just buy the inverse ETF. For an American, it's an absolute duh. For the non-Americans out there, you guys can go over to a Wanda and trade the SPX CFD, for example, right? And you can use margin and short sell it or long it however you want to, right? And you can just trade right along. CFDs, ETFs, just depends on where you live. Fees come into account. I don't think it's a big thing. Ron Legato says, any plans to stream to TV? We already do, brother. You can watch us live on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. So if you go to Roku and download Investor News Channel app, and you watch us at 12 p.m. That's where we're at. So we are on TV. Thank you, brother. On the SPY here, we need to close the SPY below 298.03. That is going to be signaling for continued at-risk shorts. Right now, I mean, I have to be bearish on the SPY. I continue to say this. We're going to see steeper pullbacks, right? The last time the Fed cut rates 50 basis points was 2 days before the Bitcoin white paper was published back in October of 2008. Okay? And the market continued to fall. Okay, the market continued to fall. Now, granted, it rallied fairly quickly after that, but the market continued to fall. I think, listen, these things are very overheated. Now, again, I am not calling for the global market meltdown that so many other YouTubers are. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the markets are likely to dip another 10%, maybe more. And I'm going to view those opportunities as buying opportunities. I have a large dividend stock portfolio. I'm going to load up. Traditional markets, ETFs, stocks, they've been one of the best investments for the last 100 years, and I don't think those are going anywhere anytime soon. However, that's why I also hold Bitcoin, because I believe in the Bitcoin mission to bring sound money and hard money to the world. So, do I have any Kraken Crypto golf shirts? Yeah, man, you can go buy them on the website, krakencryptocurrency.com/merch. Right at the top of the homepage of the website. Yes, there are golf shirts there. So yes, I think we're going to continue to see steeper pullbacks on the SPY. Of course, the charts. TradingView. Yes, we are going to trade. We are going to stream to TradingView as soon as we get that set up. We're going to be looking at that over the next couple of weeks. So we're going to be likely continuing to experience pullbacks in traditional markets. I think we're going to continue to see drip fall, but we'll see if we get a reversal here. Again, drip surging to the upside. I've talked about drip for about a week now, so guys have plenty of opportunities. Gold spot moving up, silver spot moving up. We're going to take a look at those really closely today because we're going to see if there's finally a trade, a safe trade for gold or silver, whether on the ETF or on the CFD side. So let's go take a look at that. We talked about the SPY. I mean, I'm bearish on the SPY until we close back above 321.97. If we get above 322, let's call it, I'll be looking for longs, and I'll consider, hey guys, things aren't going to fall, but it is what it is. But for right now, in bearish territory, I have to assume that price is going to continue moving in its trending direction on top of the fundamentals that we have. The Fed does not have bullets left. It used up all its bullets, all its recession bullets in a bull market, right? And now we're having this massive drop with this illness, shall I say, spreading around the globe and getting people very afraid. And G7 nations still being very weak sauce with their fiscal policies on how they're going to respond to this. I mean, come on, guys. All right, it's 12:46. Wow. We got to get moving. We got a lot of news to cover. So let's take a look at gold spot and see if we have a trade on the table finally today. All right, so looking at gold spot. All right, let's bring up I want to bring up the baseline indicator. Okay. So those premium members who have access to the baseline indicator, we talked about the short on the stream again, but if we look at the baseline indicator, it's designed to tell you when not to trade. What do we get on this massive move to the downside? No trade candle. All right. Nothing here. What do we get here? No trade candle. Okay. What did we get yesterday? Trade candle. Did we have Water explosion confirmation yesterday on gold spot? No. Do we have it today? Yes. What does that mean? Gold is a long trade today, finally, above the baseline, above the continuation filter, Water explosion volume confirmation, Minx long signal, everything is here. The only thing that I'd like to take a gander at right here is I would like to, I don't think I saved that as a template. Let's go back over here and here. We'll get rid of no indicator base Leon, the base Leon. Baseline. Let's see, make sure Minx is tuned. And I'm going to save this. I should have done this earlier. Sorry that I didn't, guys. Save this as a tune. CC template. Oh, I already have it there? Why isn't it showing up? Parallax, water explosion, baseline. No. So why? Oh, I bet I know why. Auto save on. Let's update traditional markets. Give my screen a refresh here. There we go. All right, pull up in gold spot here and load my, yeah, there it is. There's my CC template. And make sure that we have both on. Overwrite that template here real quick. Boom. All right, so we have gold spot. Even Parallax, I wanted to look at Parallax. Even Parallax agreeing with me here. Again, so Minx line cross, we got the zero line cross over here. Minx line cross and zero line cross on the same candle. Finally today, Water explosion confirmation. So we have a long signal here on gold spot. CFD, or you can do the ETF, SGOL. You're gonna have to manage your own, SGOL, GLD, however you kind of want to take the trade. Gold spot, CFD, ZAO, USD over here on Awanda. But anyways, we have initial take profits here. 1694, 1722, 1750, managing risk at 1624, no more than 2% risk per trade. Of course, you guys want to manage your own and make sure that you always trust your own systems, test your own systems. This is not an incentivization to actually enter into any position. I want to make sure I'm just telling you guys what I would do, what I'm going to be doing, and you guys need to be making sure that you are doing the work to build your own systems to give you your own objective signals, okay? Let's see here. Now, talked about gold. Let's talk about silver in the exact same way. Silver, no, silver's not there. Even though fundamentally, as an investor, I've been stocking up on silver and I've been talking about how undervalued silver is relative to its all-time high than gold is. Of course, you can hear this on any, gold bug blog, right? Silver bug blog. But let's talk about where we are in relation to the chart. People are buying up gold more than they are, and trends, the herding effect, trends continue to, the herding effect incentivizes and continues to push trends in the direction that they're moving. So investors are moving into gold because they're worried about the market. That is likely to continue. We can see that silver is moving up, but it's not above bullish thresholds yet. So for silver here on the daily, CFD on Awanda, we need to close above 1775 to be in bullish territory, and we can be looking for long signals. We also don't have anything from Water. Of course, we did get on yesterday's candle, the take profit on short signal from the breaking Bitcoin, or excuse me, from Minx, a day earlier than it would be than we would have from the breaking Bitcoin indicator, which is just now throwing us up the take profit on the shorts. And of course, short signal from Minx, Water explosion, baseline, and breaking Bitcoin coming in on the same day, 27th of February, setting us up for one of the greatest shorts in silver that we've had in quite a long time. So congratulations to everybody who took that trade. Bentley crude descending to the downside. Great trade opportunity. Drip moving to the upside. Great trade opportunity. That's how you can short oil in America. ETF drip. Check it out. And that's pretty much it for the markets. Big movers of the day. We can look over at crypto bubbles today. Big, beautiful, positive movement for the day. Big movers. Kyber Network looking pretty good on the daily here. That's KNC. It's maintaining support above the baseline, keeping us in bullish territory. Currently, there is nothing to do as a trade on the daily, but keep KNC on your watch list. Should Minx cross back over and give a continuation long signal, that's when it says CL on your chart. If CL prints, this will be needed to be, if CL prints, now you're going to have to take some reduced risk on the trade because of its extension from the baseline. So no more than 1% per trade. KNC having a market cap of about $133.4 million. It's about 15 Bitcoin, not quite 14 and a half. Daily trading volume of 75 million. So quite an active coin. A lot of opportunities there, even on lower time frames. Again, KNC, one for your watch list. Circulating supply of about 179 million, total supply of about 211 billion, ranked 49 on CoinMarketCap. Now, Icon ICX did give a long signal on yesterday's close, but all of our systems weren't there to give a full signal, not on the daily. On the 12-hour and 4-hour, there were opportunities. So the daily trade, that one wasn't ours, but using discretion, one could have taken the position at reduced risk and potentially and been rewarded. There's nothing to do right now on ICX. The opportunity was there again on the 4-hour, on the 12-hour, not quite on the daily. Market capitalization of about 206 million. Market capitalization of 226 million, daily traded volume of about 60 million. That's about 6,600 Bitcoin. Doing the math in my head. Circulating supply, 525 million. Icon, total supply of about 800. Now, the last trade, again, one of Jason's best trades, I don't want to say best trades, but a good trade that junior analyst Jason locked in over the last couple of days is ZRX. ZRX still looking strong on the daily. He posted that trade 2 days ago, a full initial PTP signal, which did hit TP1 last night, target 1 last night. Nothing to do currently on ZRX, but one to add to your watch list. The volume's good, the volatility is good. Let's see if we can get opportunities moving forward. Again, not a daily signal. ZRX market capitalization of about 173.8 million. That's about 19,000 Bitcoin. 24-hour volume of about 36 million. That's about 4,000 Bitcoin. So plenty of volume there, plenty of supply. Circulating supply of about 626 million ZRX. Total supply estimated to be $1 billion. Now, we've got a lot to cover in today's news segment. Let's get into the cryptocurrency. So we're going to take a brief 1 to 2, probably won't be longer than a minute. We're going to take a brief break. We'll be right back with today's cryptocurrency segment. Let us know in the chat how you guys are doing and what you guys want to see in the question and answer segment. And of course, if you are enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe, hit all the icons, hit all the bell notifications, because if you don't have the bell notifications on, you will not know when we go live. We post videos twice a day, at least here on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, consider supporting the channel by following and hitting that subscribe button. If you got Amazon Prime, you can support us for free. And of course, make sure to join the Discord. Link is in the description down below. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. Now, our first story of the day coming to us from South Korea. The Korean National Assembly passed new legislation today that will officially bring cryptocurrencies under South Korea's legal system. Now, this breakthrough comes in the form of an amendment to South Korea's, quote, Act on Reporting and Use of Specific Financial Information, which will now fully integrate cryptocurrencies as a recognized and legitimate domestic business activity. Now, these new rules were drafted using guidance from the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF, on cryptocurrency, at least their guidance on crypto, that were released last summer. Of course, one of those being the travel rule that will be going into effect in June. Under this amended law, crypto companies operating in Korea will have to comply with the latest in KYC and AML requirements, including verification of user identities and monitoring transactions and reporting to other exchanges. Even more specifically, blockchain projects, including exchanges and wallet providers that have conducted initial token offerings or crowd sales, now need to partner with an approved Korean bank to verify the real names of participants and bank account information. And as explained in the amended legislation, quote, this law is, the purpose of this law is, quote, to impose obligations to effectively prevent money laundering and public threat financing from virtual asset providers, and to prescribe matters to be followed when financial companies conduct financial transactions with VASPs, virtual asset providers. So, South Korea is one of the biggest crypto capitals in all of Asia, with over 70 exchanges, a number of startups and projects based in the country focusing on blockchain technology. And until now, the Korean crypto industry has largely operated in a legal gray area, with their lawmakers only kind of recommending guidelines rather than any very specific laws. Now, with Korea amending its financial laws to reflect the latest compliance with FATF guidance, we have to expect that this added degree of legal clarity and approved status will strongly bolster the budding crypto industry within this high-tech nation. Steve Lee, Block Tower Capital investor, speaking to the Block Crypto, said, quote, this is very meaningful as it will give clarity to many aspects of the crypto market in the region where there are many gray areas. The regulation will make cryptocurrency, crypto custody, and exchanges regulated under traditional laws and provide clear rules for exchanges to open bank accounts for their customers. Now, this is very positive news for the crypto community in South Korea, and it will build the foundation for institutional players and investors to more actively engage in the crypto space. That was still quoting Lee. Now, Lee, whose expertise is the Korean and Japanese crypto markets, does predict that in the short term, you should expect a number of, quote, scammy projects and exchanges being cleared out, while prepping the runway for the arrival of institutional investors. Now, the amendment does still require President Moon Jae-in to officially sign this into law, but expedited approval is expected to take effect, this bill, by next March, and by September 2021, all businesses in cryptocurrency in Korea will need to be in full compliance of the law. Now, we talked about this yesterday. We kind of talked about, just quickly, because we're running out of time here on the show, I want to do lightning round. We talked about, obviously, kind of the two big battles, because South Korean exchanges, we talked about this yesterday. If you check out last night's Breaking Bitcoin Bits, we touched on this again, where essentially exchanges are saying, hey, we publish these laws, BitHum, Upbit, they both publish these rules that say, if we don't really like your project, or we feel that it's low liquidity or low demand, or if the team doesn't communicate with us, or if there's no updates, we're going to delist this, okay? And on one hand, as an investor, that's stuff that we want to see. We want to see, coins with a lot of liquidity and a good tech team. We want to be investing in a good project, right? And we have to assume that the exchange wants the coins on its exchange that investors actually have demand for. They don't want to be listing all this random crap that are just money grabs, because there is so much of that in the space. But for the startup projects that are really good but aren't good at getting venture capital, that effectively shoots them in the leg, because they can now not potentially get access to being listed, which is their really only opportunity to raise revenue for the project. So this is a very complicated issue. Decentralized exchanges largely solve this. Again, decentralized exchanges continuing to surge in volume, and officially the future, of course, for the cryptocurrency space. They're not the solution right now, but they will be in the future for traditional traders and investors as they're built out. Right now, they are very experimental, but as they continue to grow in volume, there's going to be more and renewed confidence. Again, not your keys, not your coin. cryptocurrency, decentralized exchanges help solve this problem of regulation and also help solve this problem of custody. But for now, for your average trader, for your average investor, we have to deal with the necessary evil that is centralized exchanges. And so largely, I think this is a positive movement because there is so much nonsense, so much scam that needs to be cleared out of the space. You guys know that it's true. We have to be concerned who is dictating the laws, who is calling the shots, who is calling the rules here. So always be aware of that. So let me know in the comment section down below here on YouTube what you guys, I don't know why I flipped over. Have I been showing that the entire time? If I have, I'm very sorry. That's officially not our Breaking Bitcoin Bits, unless Jack can maybe Photoshop this picture in there. Hey, Anyways, our second story of the day is, it's officially bull season when the moonshot price predictions for Bitcoin start making their rounds across headlines today. Now, this one that we're going to be talking about is cryptocurrency analyst Willy Woo, creator of some great charts. He just appeared on the Kaiser Report, and in that interview, he laid out a bullish case for Bitcoin, suggesting that it will reach $100,000 or more by the end of this market cycle. Now, Willy Woo, he is the digital asset strategist at Adaptive Capital, among other things, explained why he believes Bitcoin could even exceed those expectations and skyrocket all the way to 250,000, saying, quote, "We don't know the future. We don't know how long this bull market will run. Generally, these things are 4-year cycles. If you extrapolated the current cycle with the general 4-year cycle, what you're getting is these pushes because of the mining happening. And if you imagine that it's like a bathtub and you're just pushing that water and it sloshes every 4 years, that's the kind of cycle that we're dealing with in Bitcoin. And if you make a best guess, that's about $100,000. I think one of the more common sense predictions would be $135,000 based on the timing signature and that 35x of the average market capitalization. So I'm looking at the $100,000 to $250,000 range, depending on how long this bull market runs." End quote. Now, Wu also went into greater detail, explaining to the audience what the upcoming Bitcoin halving event will mean for the next phase of Bitcoin, which is currently projected to arrive on May 11th of this year, saying, quote, "This is significant because when we do this, the inflation rate of Bitcoin drops below the inflation rate of gold. And with gold being the gold standard of scarcity in which we have traditionally measured our money, not so much since the fiat world, but we've had hundreds of years before that. And now we've got this new digital scarcity, which is more perfect, which will continue to be more scarce. I find this very significant. Gold is not scarce. Launch a few rockets, mine the asteroid belt. People think that's not coming, but it is coming. The cost of space launching is going to go 100 times cheaper, and that opens up abundant resources," end quote. Now, he was also asked about what sort of negative scenario would have to occur for him to revise his bullish position on the leading asset. And he said that it has a lot to do with the sustainability of mining. And if price drops down into the $1,000 range, that will start to test the last strongest miners that could possibly keep running. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree with Willy Woo here? Do you think that's a reasonable price prediction? Or do you think that that we're just spitting numbers out here? So let me know what you guys think down below. Max Kaiser, of course, had his own bullish take on where Bitcoin's price is headed. Speaking on his March 5th Kaiser report, he stated that Bitcoin is set to reach $100,000 during the cycle and that Jamie Dimon will be, quote, "begging the United States Federal Reserve for money to buy some." Now, Kaiser, he's a well-known Bitcoin proponent, known for calling out mainstream financial markets. He says that the current global crisis will have a profound impact on safe haven assets like Bitcoin this year. 2020, he said, was part 2 of the global financial crisis that started back in 2008, which also happened to be the year the Bitcoin white paper was first conceived. In fact, 2 days after the Fed last slashed interest rates by half a basis point, by half 100 basis points, 50 basis points. Now, Bitcoin will experience, quote, Bitcoin will experience part 2 of the global financial crisis. It's already close to $10,000 a coin. This is the global financial crisis that will catapult Bitcoin's price to $100,000 and beyond, Kaiser told his guest on the show. Now, meanwhile, citing the popular Bitcoin critic and JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, as well as Peter Schiff's recent comments, Kaiser had this to say, that their minds are being hacked by the Bitcoin bug. Soon, Jamie will be a blathering idiot on the ground begging the Fed for money to buy Bitcoin. He's going to turn into a kind of street urchin. Same with Peter Schiff. So let me know what you guys think. Again, down in the comment section down below, do you think Kaiser is onto something? And do you guys want to see Jamie Dimon as a street urchin, perhaps in the next Wall Street adaptation of Annie. I don't know. You guys let me know. All right. And our last story of the day is going to be about Ethereum. No, it will not change my life. I can do my own research. With the price of Ethereum consolidating over the last several weeks, the top bag holders of the number 2 cryptocurrency have been stacking even more coins. This according to new data from Santiment, the on-chain metric provider. And according to their report, the largest 100 Ethereum wallets, the top 100 Ether wallet addresses have started increasing their percentage of the Ethereum token's total supply. And this sort of accumulation is considered to be an indication that the top ETH hodlers share a common sentiment that Ethereum is currently undervalued at its existing price. Now, as per this chart that Santiment posted, there was a drop in the holdings of Ethereum toward December's end, but since then, a consolidation pattern. But there's also been a spike in the ETH holdings of the top bag holders, which, according to Santiment, could be a bullish signal, saying, quote, from their report, generally when this kind of accumulation starts to mount, it's a signal that those who have the most stake in Ethereum and other respective tokens are beginning to have a collective sentiment of the token being undervalued and believe it's a great mid to long-term hold play. Now, with the Ethereum community looking forward to the implementation of Ethereum 2.0, which aims to solve many of the critical issues such as speed, scalability, and security on the network, the future for the leading smart contract platform does seem to be looking promising over the next few months. Now, although it is uncertain if these updates will actually have a positive effect on the price has appreciated by almost 50% since the testnet went live last year, and it is becoming increasingly clear that developers are very committed to their 2020 roadmap for the rollout of Ethereum 2.0. Now, the future does seem to be potentially bright for crypto and Ethereum in particular, as it has seriously benefited from finding its niche as the leading platform for decentralized finance applications, DeFi, moving the needle forward. Again, complicated topic. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think that Ethereum is undervalued at these prices? And are you accumulating Ethereum around $200? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right. Let's get into your question and answer segment, lightning round, because we are running out of time. First off, let's open up that chest over there on DLive. Oh, right. We're not on DLive. Sorry. All right, so I only see 2 questions here in the chat. Let me know if you guys got quick questions. I'll do my best to answer them. So Caprica has a question here. Justin, can I comment on this statement from another forum? I assume we're talking here about building trading strategies. Quote, win rates, while relevant, are not super important. Pay more attention to ROI, drawdown. An algorithm can have a 50% win rate and be more profitable than one with 80%. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So my personal approach is outlined in PTP, and I focus on win rate at the beginning for a very specific reason. And after we have accomplished a high hit rate, we adjust our stop and target system to boost the metrics that then become the most important, which is our overall profitability. There are a lot of reasons why I recommend that. This comment right here is pretty boilerplate. This is pretty template answer in the realm of building systems trading. This is a no-brainer. Yeah, that's a duh. But the fact here is that it is actually easier. It's easier to optimize a strategy for PP, for percent profitability, than it is for ROI at the beginning. Because and you'll know this too, if you've done anything in Pine or Python or any kind of systems building, any tiny change that you make, as far as your settings, as far as your stop and target system, as far as your ATR values, whether you increase your length, decrease your length, all of that can radically change your actual P&L and ROI, right? And your drawdown. So you want an but it generally will not do the same thing to your percent profitability, to your hit rate, if you're using consistent smooth trending indicators that give consistent signals, right? Most of those are going to be fairly consistent. It's easier, much easier to build a system and focus on optimizing what is easy to optimize, which is percent profitability, than it is to optimize something that is very hard to optimize, which is ROI, because there are so many things that go into that, right? And again, it's very hard with a strategy tester to back test for things like, although you can account for them to the best of your ability, slippage, fees, things like that. You know, of course we can account for fees, but slippage is one that's hard to account for and one that you do not want to ignore. So that while that is true, I don't think that for most people building strategies, it's going to behoove them to focus on ROI, and drawdown is absolutely something you want to focus. So again, I lay out this strategy in PTP. So focus on optimizing percent profitability because that's easy to do and will get you to your goal much faster. And then once you have a high strike rate, adjust your stop and target system then for max to max ROI then and minimum drawdown. That's the steps, right? You start off focusing on PP, and then once you get far enough, you stop looking at percent profitability, and now you start looking at ROI, drawdown, other factors as well, right? Average trade, risk per pip, things of that nature. Michael Naranjo and Crypto Omega asking for VeChain and XLM. We will look at them briefly. VeChain USDT. So I hold VeChain. VeChain on the daily is not signaling for anything right now. We're below the baseline. We need to get above 0.6505 to be looking for long trades right now. Need positive volume delta divergence. This is an indicator. By the way, Wadatar you guys can go get for free. It's on TradingView. Link in the description down below. Parallax is also bearish here on the 12-hour time frame. Not a trade. Parallax beginning to turn bullish. I would say if we can get a pullback here on VeChain on the 12-hour, we'd look for the next signal on VeChain. 4-hour time frame has given us quite a few signals over here. Let's take a gander. Oh, we don't have Minx here, so let's get Minx busted out, baby. So, let's see here. 4-hour time frame. We have a long signal. Get WADA explosion. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't take that trade. That's 4 bars. You guys know that violates the rules. Get one here. Here's our stop loss. Does it get hit? Absolutely not. We rally right here and hit TP1. Good stuff. And a continuation long signal right here. And we can take it actually on the next candle because that's where Parallax agrees. A good trade right there. And 4-hour just gave us a continuation long signal about 8 hours ago. So 2 4-hour candles, actually about 12 hours ago. So VeChain is actually having you in an active 4-hour long with a stop loss at 59.33 and a take profit around 63.96. Again, let's see here. 1, 2. Entry right now is actually valid according to the system at 2/3 risk. And then we were asked about XLM. The daily, again, is still bearish. We're below the baseline. Need to be above 0.6836 to be looking for longs. 12-hour, nothing. 4-hour. Long signal here. That's a winning trade. Actually, we'd still be in this 4-hour long signal from back over here. And we haven't, maybe we've hit at 60.95. Have we hit 60.95 yet? Yeah, we just hit it on this current 4-hour candle. So we just get a take profit long signal on the previous candle. Profitable trade. We did get another long signal over here. And confirmation here with a potential profit at 61.57 and a stop loss at 58.23. So you're either in this position from over here, or you've just recently entered into one and you have an active trade open on XLM USD. So best of luck. Again, manage your risk and make sure that your system agrees. Never incentivize anybody to take trades just because I think that it looks good. All right. Yeah, it is time. Oh, let's see here. Challenged Investor says, what do I think about the convergence of the 10, 21, and 200 simple moving average? Well, typically when moving averages begin to converge, it indicates consolidation. And when they spread, it indicates expansion. So that would be indicative. Anyways, I believe in Wyckoff market cycle. So that would be indicative of the fact that we might potentially be seeing accumulation. Unfortunately, looking at the market cycle through Wyckoff, I would be a little worried that this is more likely to be redistribution, right, at this point in time. So I don't really have any specific thoughts on those particular indicators. But again, convergence of moving averages indicates consolidation and ranging. So ranging is where you can go down to lower time frames and, Bollinger Band strategies, ATR band strategies, even RSI strategies. These things tend to work well in good and ranging markets if you set your systems up for them. I don't have any particular thoughts as far as price predictions based off that data. So with that being said, guys, hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. My name is Justin Wise. I'm the lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I hope that you guys go on to have a fantastic day. As always, make sure that you're using your own trading systems and that you guys are utilizing your own methods of analysis to break down your trades, make sure they agree with your system. A consistent systems trading approach to trading is the easiest way to achieve consistent profitability. I will preach this over and over and over again. You guys, we've got a wild time ahead of us. If you guys have been sitting on the sidelines, if you guys are not actively trading, if you haven't put the time in to build a system, then this is the time to do it, because these are the moments where where the opportunities are there, where the moments are there. Trading is waiting. Patience, finding the opportunity and exploiting your edge, exploiting the inefficiency in the market that you profit off of. And there's never been a better time to do it. So make sure to hop in the Discord. It's absolutely free. You guys can communicate with all the guys in there who are dedicated to systems trading. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe, hit all the bell icons, or you won't be notified when we go live, because subscriptions don't seem to work. If you have any questions, comments, sarcastic remarks, or death threats, leave them in the comment section down below. Of course, you can follow us on our social media. We're active on Twitter and Instagram. Links are all in the description down below. We will return tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Analysis. I hope you guys, again, have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you guys in the Discord. Trade safely.